Welcome back to How Not to Suck at Star Trek Online by me, Fuzzy Bunnies. I'm going to try to not sound condescending, but also I want people to play Star Trek Online and stay playing Star Trek Online. So I'm going to start from the very beginning so everybody is speaking the same language. Nobody's working on Andorian versus Vulcan, all that kind of fun stuff, little in-jokes. But if you feel like this is just beneath you, feel free to skip to the next video or at least ahead in the video, because a lot of it will be just very basic MMOR online slang terminologies, anagrams. So I appreciate you watching though, and here we go. STO stands for Star Trek Online. Okay, that's my one intentional condescending moment per video. MMORPG stands for Massive Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game. There's a lot of them. WoWs would be a good one. World of Warcraft. Not WoWs, sorry. WoW. World of Warcraft. You got Albion. There's a lot of them on there, but it's a lot of people playing a game online, and it's a role-playing game. So you have character development, you have stories, and it's different than a first-person shooter or an adventure game or something like that. MMORPG, that is what STO is. HUD. Somebody might tell you, hey, check your HUD. That is your heads-up display. That is all the information that is not the actual game itself. So I can see windows, I can see character, players, shrubberies, anything that's in the game is part of the game. Your HUD is everything that is transmitted to you information-wise, usually around the corners, on the sides, and this is just pure information that is only available to you, the player. It is not for the people in the game, player or NPC. It's just information. Where you find information, how you interact with the game, all those kinds of fun things. NPC. That is a non-player character. That is everybody that's walking around in the game, like admirals, captains, ensigns, even animals can be NPCs, and they just do their thing. Sometimes sometimes they have the ability to communicate with you, sometimes they don't. But that's an NPC, non-player character. Your toon. This is my toon. Made him look like me. Or I tried. Toon comes from, or so I'm told, I didn't do a lot of research into it because it makes sense. I'm told it comes from when the games had much lower graphics, lower resolutions. People didn't have graphics cards. So the characters looked a lot more cartoonish, and it just kind of stuck. Oh, what kind of toon are we looking at here? This is my toon. I call him Reinhardt. It's a toon. If you are a Barbie player, you might be asked, oh, you're a Barbie? Probably not. But there are people that play video games, financially motivated or otherwise, where all they are concerned about is the aesthetics. How does their character look? Does their ship look pretty? This is, to speak directly to the Star Trek universe, this is my favorite ship from the movie, so it's the only ship that I care about because it's so pretty. They're a Barbie character, and there's nothing wrong with that. XP stands for experience points. It doesn't actually start with an X, but it sounds like it starts with an X, so that's what they went with. XP, experience points. Our last generic, PvP and PvE. That is Papa Victor Papa, Papa Victor Echo. Player versus player is pretty self-explanatory. It is players battling players directly. And player versus environment, PvE. PvE is a little bit more vague. It's the player against NPCs, frequently, Actual environments, like, oh, this is a very hot environment, I'm taking damage the longer I stay in it. Drowning would be PvE, poison, toxins, all that kind of fun stuff that just comes from the environment and not as a direct result of another player or NPC acting against you. On to specific to STOs, or mostly, as far as I know. You have eng, psi, and tac. Somebody might ask you, oh, what kind of a tune do you have there? Is it an eng, a psi, or a tac? Just shorten for engineering, science, and tactical. The main fields of study for our characters in Star Trek Online. You can have an engineering character, a science character, or tactical characters. The three do not mix. You cannot have a blend. So those are the three that you'll be asked about what kind of character you have. Engineering, science, or tech. Eng, psi, or tech. And it'll only be ever in the in-chat dialogues. I've never heard anybody say, hey, do you have an eng character, a psi character? It would only be in written word. And here we are at ESD. Somebody might ask you, hey, you want to meet up at ESD and then we can go do some things. That stands for Earth Space Dock. You can see it right there in front of you on screen. ESD. It's a common hub for at least Federation aligned characters. You can't get here except for a couple of episodes, and they're very specific. You can't talk to an admiral, you can't go to the infirmary, you have to go where the story dictates that you go. But ESD, Earth Space Dock. And one of the things that you might be asked to do after you've met at ESD is, hey, let's meet up and do some TFOs. That stands for Task Force Operation. These are TFOs. You may be asked what kind of a ship you fly. Is it a BO or an SV ship? What this particular person is asking you is, what is your ship geared toward, and or your character? BO, beam overload. That would indicate to them that you are a beam-only player. SV would be scatter volley. Would indicate to them that you are a cannon-only player. Or at least that ship is. So SV, BO. Somebody might also have the nerve to criticize how you play the game and say, oh, you're a rainbow build. Gross. They're elitist. Ignore them. What rainbow means is you have at least more than one different type of energy weapon assigned on your ship. So 2 or more, and they feel like that's not as effective, but it can be just as effective, if not more. This is a full rainbow ship. This character, I've got a phaser, got disruptors, I've got plasma, I've got tetrion, I've got antiproton, and polaron. That is all 6 of the major energy types that you can install on your ship. So that's a full rainbow build. Finally, they might ask, do you have the dill to afford this? What is your rep at? Dill is just short for dilithium. Again, much like the engineering, science, tactical, I've only ever seen people write this question or have queries, statements in writing about dilithium and shorten it to dill. There are 2 major types of dilithium. You have ore, which you can't really do anything with. You have to refine it, and then you can spend it like currency. You also have sub-dilithiums, which are fleet vouchers and reputation vouchers. Those have to be used in specific instances, and we'll talk about those in a future episode. Where is your rep at? Somebody might ask that because they have a query about your build, or perhaps they want to know how much they can help you in maxing it out, because there's some good stuff in here. Your rep, we've got all these different reputation schools, and they have their own individual little monetary systems. But this is where you can get rep sets from. And we'll talk about that at a future time as well. But all of these are reputation sets. So this Polaron set comes from the Lucari, and you can see I have all 3 of the pieces of the rep set. This one I have 2. This one I have 1. Nope. This one I have 1. Come on, game. Nope, I have 2. This one I have 1. But the more rep set you have, or the more of the rep set you have, the more effective it is, etc. and so forth. We will talk about that at a future time. But that's it for Whatchu Talkin'. Hopefully you've gleaned some information, or at least some entertainment. Veterans may not have been helped much, but hopefully I did find somebody out there that was thinking about getting into Star Trek Online. They're thinking, oh, there's just so much slang. I have no idea what anybody's talking about. I don't want to play anymore. Don't do that. We'll help you out. The community's great. You have a question. A lot of these answers I actually got from the community. Just in the game. What did you say? What does that mean? Oh, most people won't make you try to feel bad about not knowing weird specific slangs. It'll be good. So hopefully we'll see you out there.